All right, it is time to once again update what the Federal Reserve has been up to. A few weeks ago, I did a video on this. Well, I guess it's a new little series I'll do. And the feedback was really good. Hey, Clay, yeah, please do keep us posted. But the more I looked at it, I thought, I'm not going to do it every week. Let's just do it every month or so. That way we can get multiple data points here. But just to encapsulate really quickly, the Federal Reserve, they are supposed to be fighting inflation, and they've made lots of public statements, which the first video, I go over those public statements of what they're trying to do. The most obvious one from kind of a news perspective is just raising those interest rates. But the other one is reducing the balance sheet, quantitative tightening, Maybe you've heard of quantitative easing, QE, quote unquote, but QT, quantitative tightening, is the exact opposite, meaning trying to get rid of those balance sheets and I stumble over the words because how complicated do I want to get on it, because I've done lots of other videos on it. But it's just another means to fight inflation. But the problem with this means is that the more they do it, the more tightening they do, then the odds of certain bond rates increasing go up a whole lot. And when those bond rates go up, those bond rates are what determine mortgages, car payments, etc. So not only can the Federal Reserve raise interest rates that you'd pay on a mortgage, for example, by just raising the interest rate, but they can also raise those by doing this quantitative tightening. And my argument has always been, this is the truly difficult part. The raising interest rates, okay, it is what it is. But this is the part where I've always said, again, lots of videos on the channel, that they're going to struggle. And not to toot my own horn, they really, really do seem to be struggling. Now, I suppose you could argue they're making progress, because they are, but they're not making anywhere near the amount of progress that they publicly said they would, which is nice. Well, we're going to do this amount, and they're not even close to any of the amounts that they're talking about. In fact, as you'll see here soon, they're doing the exact opposite in some senses. So what's nice about this, all this information is publicly available, and I'll put a link down below if you want to go check this graph out to yourself, but it's great. It's a line chart, so anybody can follow it. But here is the current situation with what the Federal Reserve has been doing, and it was supposed to start right here. Hopefully you can see those dates flash around. June 1st. That's when this quantitative tightening was first started. In the first video, I talked about how it actually went up. So instead of reducing, the Federal Reserve was literally getting it bigger and bigger, doing the exact opposite of what they were supposed to do. But then, since then, got to give credit's due, they did reduce. And you say, wow, look at that huge reduction, which is true. But again, going back to the actual numbers that were told to us, that big steep drop is still not putting them anywhere on close to the pace that they told us that they would be doing all this. So back to the original point, are they making progress? Yes, to the traditional definition of the word. But are they making progress with the added context of what they said progress would be defined as? No, they're not anywhere close to that. And then you can see most recently over the past couple weeks, it has actually gone back up. Again, to be fair, it's not like it skyrocketed back up, but that's certainly not even holding even. That's not even holding steady. It's at least, which would have been better, but it's actually going back up. So at this point, there is no quantitative ease or tightening. They're actually still doing the exact opposite of what they've acknowledged. This is a cause of things. This is why we're going to start to do the opposite of it, because it'll help out with inflation. So this is where I just shake my head. You see, oh, yep, we want to fight inflation. Our job is to fight inflation. We're here to fight inflation. And then behind it, well, not really behind the scenes. No, it is behind the scenes in the sense of a lot of people probably have never known this graph existed and necessarily know what it means. So they're just banking on the fact that people don't understand how things work, which, hey, I think that's why this video, the first time I did it, was popular, because, oh yeah, I didn't even know that this stuff was available, but it is. And I think I used the analogy in the first video, but this is essentially like a lie detector test, because I get it, the Federal Reserve and people can say certain things, can, act and behave with certain attitudes, but do they actually have that attitude? Do they actually believe in what they're saying? And there's no better way to, well, let's see how they're behaving. Like, what are their actions? It's one thing to say, oh, we're really motivated. Okay, you have an attitude of motivation, but let's see, how motivated are you? And looking right there, that doesn't seem too motivated when all of a sudden you're starting to go back up. And that's why, like I said, I absolutely love this, because you can just kind of see right through what they're saying. So yeah, overall progress, I suppose, but right now, things are looking sketchy. And if you're, if you're kind of wondering, why is it so sketchy? Why are they saying certain things, not really doing them? Again, I go back and explain this in lots of other videos on the channel. But like I said, this is the true difficult part. And we'll see what happens with it. But I know the market's been doing pretty well over the past couple weeks, relatively speaking. But then you see this going up, so it's like, well, yeah, no wonder why, because there's actually money printing continuing to go on right now during these good phases. But when things have gone down from this angle, the markets have also gone down. And there's a lot further that this chart actually needs to go down. In fact, let me just kind of show that real quick when I think about it. So as you can see here, we are way up there. So what I zoomed in on, you can see, is not really even a blip on the map in terms of where this thing needs to get down to. And this is not million, well, it's millions, but it represents trillions. So we were talking about trillions of dollars that need to be reduced. So just to build in that final bit of context right there. So let me know your thoughts down below. Did you expect this? Are you surprised by this? I'd be curious to hear. And like I said, I'll be back in probably about a month or so to see how this continues to go. But yeah, as of right now, all I can really say is I'm not too impressed with what the Federal Reserve has said versus what they've been doing in this regard. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.